Week 1 fantasy update with your commissioner, Andrew Lee. I finally get a chance to sit down and do this because my son is finally off to bed, my wife is off washing her hair, and here I am, a grown man sitting dark, alone in his room, looking at his laptop, and the only source of light is the laptop light. That's why I look rather ghoulish in this update. You might think kind of shady that I'm looking at something alone in my room on my laptop late at night and it's dark. I might be looking at my fantasy. It's true, I'm looking at fantasy football. Let me walk you through the scores. First up, the Tteokbokki versus Lula. Lula edged the Tteokbokki by about 100 points. The reason why, one of the key reasons, is the Tteokbokki lost their star quarterback, Donovan McNabb. I should call him Donovan McRib because he busted his rib. Remember the McRib sandwich? Man, that was tasty. I don't know what happened. Aside from the QB, Andy's team didn't have much luck from the other key skilled positions like the running backs and wide receivers, with an average pitiful score of 59.6 per player. That's not going to cut it, Tteokbokki. On the other side, Jimmy tore it up with his star player, me and Mrs. Jones Drew, who scored about 180 points rushing. But the funny thing to mention is look on Jimmy's bench. He benched Thomas Jones, who had 227 points. Bench blunder, but you know what? It didn't matter. Jimmy took down the Tteokbokki. In our other key matchup, we had La Burrita killing the Sheki Bovines. La Burrita's Eagles defense put up 315 points, which is ridiculous. That is Motown Philly going off. Not too hard, not too soft. On the other side of the ball, we had the Sheki Bovines and their one glimmer of hope, which was Drew Brees. He put up 409 points with 6 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? Peterson was probably thinking, Brees nuts. But it wasn't enough because he had other weak performances, topped off by Greg Olsen putting up 8 points. Count them, 8 points. And are you sure that wasn't Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen? That was Greg Olsen. But pretty much the same thing. And then he went up and benched Romo and Holmes, who each put up 200 points. Peter, you got to learn who to start and who to bench. Our other game featured the Park brothers going at it, with Business Time edging the Jashiks as usual. Business Time had Make It Wayne Reggie Wayne with 222 points, and I eat my words because I said Reggie was going to have a bad year. Clearly, he isn't so far. And this was helped out by Anthony Gonzalez going down with an injury, so without a doubt he will be the featured wide receiver. On the other side of the ball, the Jashiks had his 2 wide receivers score only in the 20s. The Jashiks, you are struggling. But my point I made to you last week was that Clinton Portis is no longer going to be a great back this year. He is slow. Shall I call him the Portis and the hair? Last but not least, we had Big Mama Sheki putting Yogurt Soju to shame. Big Mama Sheki had 2 key players putting up mega points in Tom Brady and Adrian Suck My Peterson, who put up 378 points, which is just amazing. On the other side of the ball, Yogurt Soju, even though you lost Rich, you know what? You should be proud of the fact that you had a well-balanced attack. All of your key players were in the hundreds, which is great. But you shouldn't have started Anthony Gonzalez, who went down with an injury. Perhaps you should have looked into somewhere over Dwayne Bowe next time. All right, everyone, that concludes our fantasy update. I want to commend Sunjin, who is our weekly high scorer. In the past, we used to award the weekly high scorer with $5, but going forward, the weekly high scorer gets this. You get to ask the commissioner to do whatever you like in the next video update, assuming it is appropriate and acceptable. I will not get down to my underwear, Peter Sunwoo. I even question why you asked me to do that. And yes, I'm calling you out on YouTube. Sunjin also notably created a spreadsheet with all of this information in there. Amazing and also questionable at the same time. Thanks very much for watching the update. Next week, good luck.